Yes, sir. We are live, guys. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hey
Good
team.
morning.
We are here to provide a little bit of emotional support in these rough times. There's a lot of blood on the crypto streets at the moment, and
Guys,
we
I'm
brought in the
financially ruined. I'm financially ruined. It's over. I have to sell
Okay,
my
my hands
house.
are nice and warm to hold your hands.
Actually, I
Everyone
don't
get
I
in
don't know.
line. I'm taking bids for first in line to hold Trade Sharp's hand.
We're
It's an
auctioning off.
NFT. It's an
We're
NFT.
gonna
My
auction
hands
off
are
the
on OpenSea. 1000 ETH. Please
It's not
buy
a
Yeah,
bad
guys,
anything.
idea.
a
It's not
man's
a
got to
bad
make some
idea.
money somehow with all this blood in the streets.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Selling
do the
hit us off,
NFTs.
Harry.
All right. So, strangely enough, guys, although we're having all of this blood, we did close on CMEs above the topside Bollinger Band. And we see in the past, as that happened, we've continued the trend up and onwards. So, strangely, I do have some sort of bullish bias. Now, how will I break this bullish bias? Well, yesterday, remember when I was talking about in the lower time frames for all who watched my video? If you did, then you could have anticipated when I said, as soon as we break that wick, then we're going to go down and it's not going to be very pretty. So we had this wick right up here, and I said, either, most people were saying, okay, we need a 4-hour closure below this range, but this happened really quickly. And I said, if we just break this wick right here, then I do think we'll see some sort of catastrophic fall. And when we broke the wick, we did go from breaking the wick, we went down another 12%. Now, did I expect us to go down 12%? No. Did I expect us to come fill the range down here at 51,000? Yeah, it would have made sense. I was actually, to be honest, I was expecting for us to tap here and have a nice bounce on top of 52,000, but we did actually have a huge sell-off. Now, going back to the CME chart, if you go back on the 2-day, you can notice pretty clearly that we still haven't invalidated the rising wicks, right? We still have rising wicks going up. Now, as soon as this wick is broken here, which on CMEs is coming at 48,000, and I would use CME, it's more of a clearer chart at the moment for me personally as well. As soon as that wick does get broken, then I'm pretty bearish on this chart, right? But until that happens, I would say just medium to short term bearish, right? And I just look for some sideways action. And if we do break this wick, then I can start talking about lower targets, maybe down to 39,000. But that's not the case at the moment. And if we go back here on the lower term time frames, we can see that essentially what we've done is we've come down here and we've broken this range here, and now we're filling this range. Now this 48,000 is around where this wick laid off, and is where our current wick is. So it's a pretty nice area. As you can see, in the past we've had resistance up here, and support here, and then some resistance, and then some support. So it does have some relevance. Now, I do think if we do end up closing a 4-hour below here, that would also cause CMEs to break that wick, and then I do think we probably come down and fill the range. And I do think we could possibly talk about the range being broken. Now, in terms of some bullish statements, we did get a nice bounce here, which I think we can see the 4-hour wick is still not even close, but we did get a nice bounce, and that bounce is coming in at 49,000. I would like to see this confirmed bounce before drawing any sort of horizontal. And yeah, you can see that if we do break back in the range, then I could look probably for Bitcoin to try back and fill this range and come up maybe to 54,700. But essentially now we're kind of in this it's a pretty big range, to be honest, but as long as we're not breaking on a 4-hour below this 48,000 here, and to upside, we always want to break up to the upside, so it's not worrying. But if we do end up breaking above the 51,000 area, then I do think price will drive up, probably fill this range somewhere around here. I can't say exactly, maybe it touches this wick here. We see Bitcoin likes to play off wicks. You can see here it's playing off all of this wick here. How many times did it play off the wick instead of the candle bodies, which is normally strange in traditional markets and forex and stuff. You don't see it play off. You normally see it play off the bodies, but here Bitcoin likes to play off the wick. So we could see it come back up to the wick here, and I don't think that that it would, continue up. I don't think that it would do something like this, just based on how aggressive we dumped here. That would need insane volume to drive that back up there. But what I do think could happen is I do think we could come up here and then start playing a range within here, which would be quite very, very, very healthy, and have a little bit of an accumulation like we did back here. Where was it? It was before Mr. Elon Musk. Yeah, something like this, right? And we could see here that we had a bit of this accumulation, and then we had a move, right? And the move was pretty significant. So it would be pretty healthy to see that happen. But the downside still holds, and until that is broken, I'm not that bearish, but it's definitely on a tipping point, and I do think that we could have a bit of ranging even between here. The thing is, unfortunately, at this point, the range is pretty huge. The range is all the way up here at 54,000, all the way down to 48,000, to be honest. So it's a pretty massive range. Looking at momentum quickly before we just have a quick look at Ethereum, we can see like Stokes are turned down, and we were looking at the 12-hour Stokes in the past, and now we can see that the 12-hour has actually had an aggressive cross down, which is quite and breaking back into the zone, below the 80, and you can see every time prices broke back into that zone, it had some more downside. Now, how aggressive this is turning down, it is pretty, worrying in that sense. The weekly, it was turning up, but now you can see that the weekly is starting, wants to cross down, but we still have time for that. The 2-day, looking at the 2-day, we can see that, it did start crossing down. The daily did start crossing down as well. We should see if CME is having the same sort of bias on Stokes wise, because which it is, which is always good to see, both in confluence, both having the same thing. I mean, yeah, it's not the healthiest to see all Stokes like this turn down. In terms of, what would I be looking for anything to pick it up? There's not really much I can see at the moment for Stokes to be picked up. But I would probably be using, momentum is obviously down, so I'd probably be using price action. And as long as that wick is holding, then I'm not bearish. Or 4-hour closure below 48,000, I do think we come on 44,000. But yeah, it's a bit on a tipping point. If we do close above 51,000, that would be very, very, very nice. I think the 2-day for spot price should be coming probably soon. And if we do close above there, then I think that will be a very good sign, right? So let's have a look when that comes in. Where is my 2-day? It is, coming today, so that's obviously not gonna happen, and we're not gonna close. So next chance is the 3-day is coming. So the 3-day will close below. And look, in the past, when the 3-day, high chance it will close below. But when we close in the past, you can see there is some sort of it's not the best of signs, right? But until that wick is broken, really, guys, I'm not gonna make any calls, right? Because I just want to see some more price action. It's a bit early. We're still, if you look at the 4-hour, it's still just red candles down, right? Nothing, there's no base on the 4 hours. We clearly made a bounce here at the 54,000. That's why I said breaking above the 51,000, breaking back in the range. That's your next resistance. But until then, we haven't even had, any price action. It's just been a pure dump, right? So Ethereum, it's a little bit more harsher on Ethereum here. We can see that Ethereum has taken a really, really tough dump. But for me, Ethereum has to hold above this 1533, or I do see it coming back and breaking back to this liquidation box. If you guys remember, I've had for a very long time. It will break back in that range, and probably, you know, I think, to be honest, looking at Ethereum, it would probably base somewhere up here at the 1,400. And if we do break that, then we come back down into this range, which is quite scary. But again, until we have a 4-hour closure below this area, I'm not, I'm just looking for Ethereum to range in between here, which again is a crazy range, right? But unfortunately, this is the time, and this is what we have been given. If you look at Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's like looking at the same chart, just on different prices on your right, right? So, because if you look here, if I quickly switch to the Bitcoin chart, very, very similar, right? So it's just different ranges. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Bitcoin and stuff. You know, I wouldn't just keep an eye on that $51,000 level and go on your trading view and just pull up CMEs. Very simple. Go to the 2-day and just make sure that this wick is not broken. As soon as this wick is broken, then if you're trading alts or anything, just make sure to manage risk and stuff. So yeah, that's all I have to say, guys.
So really good breakdown, Harry. And yeah, I don't really have too much to I don't have too many questions. I think you explained it pretty well, Marsh.
No, it's it's definitely pretty brutal, but yeah, just as you were talking, I was trying to because I guess I don't know, I like to tell myself stories, trying to picture the people that are in the market now. There's so many new people that have recently joined the market, and you have a lot of absolute total noobs that have gone off of Elon's tweets and his vibes, and then their friends telling their friends, and those are going to be some weak ass hands that are just going to be dumping instantaneously right now. So that's a big portion of the people that you've had added to this market, and then you have the extra hyper smart institutional investors who were, you know, used to going beast mode on these traditional assets, and now they've all been sort of unlocked into the Bitcoin market as well. So
I just
I don't
remembered
know.
something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just like had to get this out. Remember, guys, I made that video a long time ago, and you guys can be my witness. And I just remembered that it actually played out, and I'm pretty shocked. My analysis basically called this short-term top. And I'm not saying it's me, I'm saying it's just the analysis based on past history. And if you remember this BLX, right? When we were looking at the weekly, and if I bring back my drawings and put it back on log scale, I said every time Bitcoin has reached the 50% of my measurement tool, we've had some sort of pullback, right?
I remember
And
this.
remember
I
this?
remember this.
And look, boom, look my line, guys. I swear to God I didn't draw this. Look at where my line is.
Y'all can
I
go
said
back through
every
Harry's
time,
videos
go back,
and
go back. This is like
verify
2
for
months old.
yourselves.
Yeah. Every time Bitcoin has touched this
Ah.
midline, it's had a pullback. And
Mm.
it touched it and had a pullback, you know, and no one, this was simple analysis that I just spotted. Everyone was using complicated, you know, pi indicators and stuff like this. But I just noticed that this trend was happening in the past. We can see here it hit that midline pullback. Even all the way back here, there was a wick above, but as soon as it reached in this midline area, there was a pullback. And you know, I back tested this, and look, where did we wick come exactly to? This midline, like to the like almost
Mm.
perfect, guys. I mean, within, you know, $500 on a weekly chart. So if you're putting that into scale, that's very accurate. And what do we get? The pullback. So a bit of good news is if you look in the past, as soon as we've had this pullback, look what's to come, right? We've had explosive movements after this next pullback, right? And this can be back tested into the next one. We rarely, you know, we see here a very aggressive reversal. Okay, we do see a very aggressive reversal, but at the same time, look at the upside, the reversal from, you know, let's say top to bottom. Okay, it's 71% here in 2013. Yes, that's very aggressive. But if you look, the upside move afterwards is 1,400%. So if we are in a similar super cycle, you know, and we go sideways, because based on fundamentals, I don't think we'll have an aggressive drop like this, but it's definitely possible we do something like this where we just head on sideways. Look at the outcome on the super cycle is another 1,000% increase. And you know, to average it, let's say 600%, you know, just make it in half because of diminishing returns. From where we are, another 600%, you know, would put us at where, around, you know, $390,000 Bitcoin, which, you know, and that's yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that type of sideways consolidation can take us maybe even 6 months. And this is the thing, is that, yeah, I know you guys all want to hit the moon soon, but you know, Bitcoin going sideways is good for alts against Bitcoin, so you're never really missing out, right? And you know, for me, it's more healthy instead of seeing these. You know, I really don't like when, you know, we go up so aggressively and then come all the way back down and then go in a bear market. I rather have like what we had, the super cycle here, where, you know, we go up, we go sideways for a bit, go up, and then, you know, here a little bit sideways and down, and then go up again, right? I think it's more healthy. But I'm just pretty surprised that it played out exactly and hit that 50% of that measurement tool. So that makes me say that we are following this pretty very closely, and I do think that this prediction here of $166,000 Bitcoin is probably now validated a little bit more. Would you guys agree? Because due to the fact that it's following this dump here.
Yeah, showing the historic data there and on the logarithmic was definitely impressive, mate. And it was good to hear that. What was that amount? 390,000 per Bitcoin, or are you saying 180 there? I can't really see your
Well,
screen.
the thing is, if this area does cause one of these sideways consolidation for
Yep.
a couple of months, 3 to 4 months, which, guys, I'm not putting any FUD, looking at how bullish the market, it might not, but I'm saying if it does, then you can look for even a more explosive move, because the more aggressively we go up, the sooner the price has to eventually cool off, right? But if this is just going to be a dump, a correction, something similar to what we've seen before, and we continue up from there, then that means it would follow the path, and following the path would show that based on previous price history, we would see probably about 166,000 Bitcoin, which to me is still a very impressive number to have in such a short period of time. And after that, I don't think, really, Bitcoin is a good asset. Maybe we have a cool off sideways consolidation and continue up. But as you can see, we hit this level. It doesn't get more accurate than that. And I did show this many months ago, and maybe I should have brought it up again, but there's a lot of people saying 60,000, where we're going to reverse 60,000, and it ended up coming exactly as I predicted, but I didn't predict. That was just a joke. But no, guys, it's just based on previous history. So you better smash that like button because of my indicator.
Thanks very much, Harry. For those who might be new to the channel, Harry is a full-time trader in Forex, and he loves Bitcoin as well. So if you want to learn to trade like him, he does have a channel under Trade Sharp. Feel free to start learning some of the skills that he has. He's got a very good suite of videos there, and he's still punching out more, and it's suited from that beginner level and upwards from what I could see to the intermediate at this stage. So feel free to enhance your own trading skills. Harry is going to just be in the background and sort of continue on trading while we sort of crack on with the news. And I just want to say thank you very much, Harry. That was pretty good, mate.
No, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for holding our hands and
appreciate it,
reassuring that we're only halfway.
I am curious though, Harry. Just sort of what I was talking about before, with the human being aspect of this. How much is that affecting sort of your analysis, or does it continue to be sort of the self-fulfilling prophecy that it is with these half price ranges or anything? Does it matter that we have a bunch of new super weak hands and a bunch of new institutional hedge fund ninjas in the market, or does it just continue to sort of play out according to the logarithmics? Yeah.
Well, on the higher time frames, it plays out on the technicals, and that was proven by this BLX chart I just showed you, and that's kind of
that's what it looks like.
that. But on the lower time frames, this type of dump is pretty crazy. I think this is the biggest dump we've ever had in history. $10,800 dump, and I do think that is immediate sell-off of weak hands. But obviously, you can see that was bought up very quickly, right? And we did get sold into, but essentially, what happens after that, it stops breaking technicals, right? So we get that wick, and then you go back on the 2-day on the CMEs, and I'm showing you that wick is the technical factor is still not broken, right? So in the short time frames, it is causing a bit of these crazy volatility, but in the higher time frames, it's still respecting structure, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Like you can't really fight the gravity of the technicals. They will sort of correct to themselves over time. But I do see a bunch of newbies looking at the 1 minute chart and selling off right at that moment there.
Yeah, admittedly, when I first got into cryptocurrency, 1 minute candles were definitely my go-to, 1 to 5 minutes. So
yes, sir. We have a ascending triangle here, full margin, 100x leverage long. No don't do that, guys.
I'm hearing a trade that I should go take right now. Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys.
Awesome. No, thank you very much,
All right.
Harry. Harry will
Thank
be
you,
in
guys.
the background here. If you have any questions, he will be
Yeah, I'll be in the
listening and
background.
watching the chat. Let's crack into the overall market. And there was a bit of a theme you probably saw with our thumbnail. Cryptocurrency, alts definitely took a hit this time. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say nothing was too crazy. Like you can see Bitcoin there is at 11%, and then you can see some of the alts ranging between some were like 5%. Cardano, 7% for Cardano. Some went up to about 20% for some of the large caps. I can't speak to some of the micro caps or some of your shat coins. But
BNB sounds like a scam. It's crashing. What's going on there?
And but like overall, and this is, and I sort of want to talk into, before I start talking into my little March, scare that I sort of mentioned a few times on stream as well. I sort of want to just give you an update on our trajectory to Mars, to Saturn in this case, and we've decided to go right around Mars this time. We're as if we're avoiding it like the plague. Maybe. But I'll keep you up to date on this beautiful technical analysis. Now, I did speak to this point, and I'm not 100% convinced it'll play out, but I did show you guys some information that March and September are historically some of the worst months for Bitcoin and the crypto market. I don't know if that's going to happen still. I still believe that a lot of people are still moving into cryptocurrency. The fundamentals are still very bullish. However, there is, we're starting to see some of those signs that I was sort of, I'm keeping an eye out for, is that correlation with the SP 500 and particular the tech stocks. So we have Apple here down 3%. We have, Tesla down, 9%. These are, that's quite a dump. And we do know it's, you can argue it's been a bit of a bubble for a while, very overpriced, et cetera, et cetera. But, we have Amazon as well down, nothing crazy, but we're starting to see, if you have a look on the, 6 months, it's, let me go back to Tesla on the 6 months. You can sort of see there, it's sort of just gone up and it started to get that bull nose. So we might see the SP 500 starting to sort of, show similar signs across the board. I'm just keeping my eye out for it. I'm not saying March is definitely going to play out like every other March for the past 10 years. However, I'm still keeping an eye out on it, and we're starting to see some correlation at this stage. There's nothing to say that once, if you do get caught out in the March dump, if there is a March dump, there's nothing to say that it won't bounce back even harder. So I'm still very bullish. We both know, I think we all know that the Bitcoin or crypto bull run is still in play, and there's nothing to really change my mind about it at this stage. I will talk to a little bit of FUD that sort of come out, and this is all, I dare say this is a lot of speculation. We have a whale alert. This is a bot that sort of tracks some of the inflows and outflows of cryptocurrencies to exchanges and cold wallets. Apparently, MicroStrategy has been moving Bitcoin from their cold storage wallet onto Coinbase, which has been some of the FUD. However, from this suspiciously looks like 2 lots of the Bitcoin mining movements of Bitcoin to the exchanges as well. So I don't know, like, have you guys seen any sort of proof that this is Michael Saylor dumping on us? I was checking his Twitter earlier. It seems bullish to me.
I don't know. I mean, any company that big is going to be using OTC or some other platform to actually trade in those large amounts. I mean, I'm assuming they're putting it on the exchange so they can buy small caps, getting some Decentraland, maybe a little District
Cardano.
Ox or something. Yeah. Well, there's no Cardano on Coinbase yet.
There isn't either.
And point, no coin. Yeah. No Cardano, no Polkadot. Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
But this is just fun. I'm not spreading it. I'm not saying that this is definitely the case, but this is definitely what's been circulating around on crypto Twitter. And I do want to sort of talk to something that I've never been a big fan of XRP. I'm still not a big fan of XRP, but if you do hold a bag of XRP and you sort of want to keep up to date with some of the court proceedings that are going on right now, this guy, lawyer Jeremy Hogan, he's been talking about XRP for the last 2 months at least. It probably backdates a little bit further than that, but I've been following for the last 2 months, and he's been talking about the allegations from the SEC onto Ripple and how they are perceived as a security rather than a cryptocurrency. And since the start, he provides an unbiased sort of case, but I haven't checked his ledger to see if there's any XRP on it. But he's saying that he's in favor of Ripple's case at this stage, and the more I sort of follow it, the more I sort of agree, which is potentially bullish for those who hold XRP. Today they had their pre-trial court hearing between SEC and Ripple, and Ripple had a bit of a silver bullet. We're yet to see if the beast is dead, but the bullet was that SEC, when exchanges reached out to SEC to say, "Hey, are we allowed to trade XRP? Is this a security?" I don't think they responded. They at least didn't say no at the time. This is back in 2019, and this was brought up in the court case today, straight off the bat. The judge, and I'll leave this. I've actually got the link to this YouTube video, so if you do want to go through it, it is in the Discord under the news channel. So it's there for you guys to have a look at it. I just thought it was a very good video, and it cracked me up at the end. I actually listened to some of the hearing as well. You're not actually meant to record it, but someone said XRP to the moon right at just as the hearing ended. So it was a bit of a lull. But if you want more information, this guy is a good source to understand the case. And I'll be honest, I picked up a little bit of XRP myself, for better or for worse. You can laugh at me if it plummets to all hells of the earth, and just in time for today's dump as well. So I've copped that one on the chin, but that's fine. I think whatever I had before, it probably would have dumped anyway. But I am strongly against XRP. I think things are tipping in their favor at the moment, and I suspect a bit of a push, and I'll keep tracking it. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of XRP and its fundamentals, but fundamentally, in this case, for this small period of time with the court case, I see a lot of upside in with some sort of rally after the court case is sorted. Guys, what are your thoughts on XRP? I know I'm probably going to be hissed at, verbally abused. Let me have it.
I got some news for you too, but what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Bender? Going to zero? Is it going to zero? I'm not sure. He might have fallen asleep because honestly, the Ripple story is a little boring because I see it as pretty transparent. It's really easy. I don't know. I don't want to go down a dark path, but it's really, really easy to exploit human behavior. We are incredibly simple, and most people feel offended even hearing that. But you can. It's just very easy to manipulate people's behavior into doing what you want them to do, and especially at this point when we have so much data, analytics on so many different people in so many different ways with so many different cross sections, it's really easy to parse that data into actionable intelligence. And say, for example, this was your project. Oh, we want to shake a bunch of people out of XRP and then send it to the moon just with our friends. Well, I don't know. I would basically do it exactly like this. Spread this insane FUD, get it taken off a bunch of the exchanges. I did want to grab the screen share from you for a second because this is interesting to me.
That's a really good point there.
MoneyGram suspends trading on Ripple, citing SEC lawsuit. Oh my God, not MoneyGram. I was getting all of my XRP on MoneyGram. But we've seen this from so many different exchanges now, just taking XRP off the exchange. And I mean, that has like a twofold effect. First of all, it spreads all this FUD that like this coin is going to zero. Why else would they be taking it off the exchange? But the other fact, and I know this is like possibly offensive to some people, is that like, what if it's going to the moon and you've been revoked access? This is reminds me actually a lot of what happened with Wall Street Bets and GameStop and all of that kind of stuff, where there was a profitable trade to be made and that option was revoked from you unless you were smarter than them and were able to go around the corners in certain ways. And then GameStop got shorted to insanity anyways, so they made all their money. What I'm trying to say is that like, if people want to make their money and they're billionaires, then they're going to figure out a way. And everybody's been freaking out about the Ripple guys selling all their XRP. Well, how do you think you make insane world-changing things happen? I think it's a lot cheaper than most people would think. With a couple $1 billion, you can make some really crazy shit happen. Like, it doesn't actually take that much money to convince people to do really, really crazy stuff. So yeah, MoneyGram it's collapsing. It's going to go to the ground. And then this next article, oh, price jumps 25% in 30 minutes. I noticed when the big dump was happening with the entire market that Ripple was just like going in the opposite direction, because I don't know, I'm not a TA mastermind. I just try to read these stories, and if no news is or bad news is also good news, it's all news. And there's just so much news about XRP. It's insane. Like every single day, like XRP, it's going to zero, guys. It's going to zero, guys. How long have we been talking about this going to zero? And how much media attention has this received? And I would leave it at that.
It's heaps, mate, and I think like you said there, it's off all these exchanges, or at least they've suspended it. Now I don't know if the exchanges have continued to hold any XRP on their exchanges. I don't think they've been suspended for.
Sup, dude?
Gotcha. And sorry. And I don't think that I think they can still hold their XRP. I think they're just suspended from being able to transact it. So anyway, once all the floodgates are open, I dare say that crypto, XRP is going to really explode. I have no guarantees of that. It's a very risky trade for me, and I don't really like XRP either.
I don't think anybody does, but I mean, just look right here. Ripple is now registered as a business in Wyoming. That's where Kraken registered as an exchange. They're laying the groundwork to becoming a real company while all this FUD is getting spread, and they're just tamping their price down. And that's what they've been doing the entire history. That's why it's still under $1. Price manipulation. Sorry, go ahead, Ben. What do you got?
No, I mean, it's just exactly what you guys said. There's a lot of different factors that are going into it, and I think it's somewhat mirrored also by the kind of recent move by a lot of national governments to ban privacy coins. It's just whenever someone tells you, it's like a psychological thing. Hey, you can't have this. We won't allow it. We're going to take it away from you. What happens to demand? Jumps straight back up.
And XMR is a perfect example of that.
Yep. Monero, I mean, Zcash, whatever else is on the, working privacy angle. I mean, XRP is obviously not a privacy coin, but you should see a similar psychological effect once the central authorities, whoever else is telling you, hey, I mean, we don't think you guys should be dealing with this. We don't think you have your big boy pants on. We're going to hold your big boy pants for you, and we're going to control the pants. So you guys, no pants for you. No pants for you guys.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Don't let the man control your pants.
I mean, it seems like you could still enter the pants, but they're going to be holding said pants, and you won't be able to walk away or anything. You just have to. Yeah. They're like
essentially, if someone.
I like this metaphor. That's what I'm saying.
If someone were to hold you by the pants, they essentially can sort of steer you as to where to go, and that's not what you want. The whole point of cryptocurrency is to hold your own pants up, and then in the decentralized nature that cryptocurrency is. Make your own decisions. But I don't want to talk about XRP too much, but I do have one more piece of news.
Get this out of here.
and I think this is really bullish. I don't think we talk about individual countries enough as we should. Singapore and Dubai are some of the leading countries with cryptocurrencies and adoption. And here's another one. We got the Bank of Singapore chief economist talking about Bitcoin and approving it as a store of value and openly doing it. I know we're starting to see it with America, but here's just another little example. I'm not going to talk too much to it. And that's all I've really got, guys. What have you guys got?
Oh, well, I just wanted to talk about this ETN. Oh, and a confirmation of one of Bender's tips. I definitely wanted to mention that real quick. Yeah, amid all this FUD and the dropping off of the entire markets, I'm just gonna grab this back real quick. Everything's collapsing, right? It's all going to zero. Well, this ETF just started in Canada and has instantly just been filled. I think there's almost $500 million in there at this point. In this ETF, and it is just trading very smoothly as we see all of these institutional investors piling in. And this is really sort of the first, everybody was hoping for obviously an American ETF, but just having something on the North American continent is already pretty bullish. And it's just going up. This is going up in comparison to what's going on with the markets in general and the price of Bitcoin.
For clarity's sake, are we talking about are we talking $500,000 in US dollars or Canadian dollars? Because one of those, I think I'd rather have a little bit more.
That's a good point. I'm guessing Canadian dollars. I feel like this article's a tiny bit outdated at this point. I'm guessing Canadian dollars though, since it's on that exchange there. And just
in
to
Canada, guys, it's in Canada.
No, exactly. Just to mirror that as well in Europe, there's things going on, like you're saying, all over the world, and it's easy to get lost in the SEC filings or some other detail here. But here in Germany, an ETN. I had to actually look this up, guys, and if you bear with me, I honestly didn't know, so maybe you didn't know either. And an ETN is an exchange traded notes. This is different than an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. Those are two different things, and they operate in different ways. And I don't need to go into the specific details, but just something to know. Those are two different things. But there is a German ETN on the stock market here in Germany, and that has reached 1 billion. So we're just seeing it's going to be sort of country by country because the regulations are so thick with something like Bitcoin that we'll see institutionalized. These are really sort of like somebody holding your pants for you Bitcoin. That's really what these are. But they're opening up in all the major countries and all the major stock exchanges. And I guess it's not technically directly buying Bitcoin, but all of these things like this ETN is directly backed by Bitcoin that you can exchange for said Bitcoin. I'm sure there'll be some sort of liquidity problem with this eventually, but it's all bullish in my mind, this kind of news happening. So I don't know. I would balance this against what you're seeing on the charts because they didn't not do this. They did not buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in Germany just in the last couple months. So that's about all I got.
No, it's definitely some good news to go along with the macro trends and the fundamental analysis that's going into the reasoning for why we are expecting Bitcoin to continue surging in price. If we're looking towards previous trends and kind of like a rhyme in different sectors of financial institutions, markets, whatever, we have institutional investors starting one by one to pile into Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And now we have countrywide adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency assets, with the Canadian ETF, with the German ETN. Perhaps we could see other countries start to enable trading on their own type of exchange trading fund of some sort. We've been hearing crypto YouTubers talking for weeks now, giving us this one echoing sentiment that you don't want to be first, but you don't want to be last. And people have already started to get into these things. So the first people are already in, and it just needs a couple more dominoes before everything starts falling over and countries start piling into cryptocurrency. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I'm not going to give probabilities, not 100% thing, but if the trends continue, ideally we're looking at another country, perhaps a bigger, maybe not bigger, but a wealthy country start enabling trading on crypto in a mainstream fashion.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it coming. I mean, but I guess Janet Yellen still says it's for drug dealers. So, I mean, she's the only person I actually listen to for anything. Janet Yellen.
She does seem like she knows what she's talking about.
Very
Don't
smart.
be talking about my girl Janet Yellen.
I'm sorry. She's probably a nice lady, but she's always flooding Bitcoin, and I don't appreciate it.
I don't even know why we even bother listening. Like, why does it get echoed in the media? Like, who cares? Go hang out with Warren Buffett or something and talk about your Quantish, your airplane company shares or something. Good on you. You don't understand what an iPad is? Cool. Tell someone who cares. Most useless people.
Warren Buffett burn. Yeah.
But no worries. All right, let's wrap it up there. I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in today. I know this went a little bit longer than we usually do, but hopefully you got some value out of that. Please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We will keep you guys up to date. Throw that bell notification on. Give us a like if you enjoyed today's content. Maybe give us a dislike if you didn't, or let us know in the comments after if there's anything that we might have missed. Definitely want to be pulled up on what we might have missed. So no worries. Thank you very much, guys. Love you all. Catch you later.
Goodbye.
Pants.